Noah Basketball is our new presenting sponsor of our Coaching You podcast. Noah Basketball is a shot tracking and data company that has helped change how coaches and players perfect the game's most important skill, shooting. Noah is a data service provider that uses machine learning and the latest computer vision technology to provide real-time data and feedback to improve shooting accuracy and consistency for professional and amateur basketball players. Noah has now analyzed over 570 million shots from countless high school, hundreds of college teams, and 28 NBA franchises. The technology is simply amazing. Once the system has been installed, players will be able to get immediate feedback on their shooting arc, left and right positioning, depth, makes or misses, and makes the data available to players and coaches on your mobile device. For more information about how Noah can help your team, visit noahbasketball.com. Welcome to another Coaching You podcast with the coach, Brendan Sir, presented by Noah Basketball. You know, last month we were in Ohio, one of our favorite clinics, and run by Adam Hall's leadership, a great team there at OHSBCA. One of our favorite clinics every year, and tremendous speakers. And one of the ones that Zach and I thought that really touched us was, someone that we've known for years from his time at Ohio State as an assistant coach, but now the head coach at Illinois State, is Ryan Pedon. And he comes, I want you to listen to his talk to start his clinic there that I thought was really spectacular, because he was talking to high school coaches, but as an NBA coach, it hit me right on the money. I think he's really got it down. And I think one of the things that anytime that you get an opportunity to hear someone, take it and apply it to your situation, your team. Not that you're coaching a college team or an NBA team or a girls team or a boys team. It has nothing to do with that. It's just apply it to your team and what it is. And I think you're going to find Ryan Pedon has really captured some of the really good things about what I think is important now. It's really the coaching of people and about establishing a culture. And I think you really see it here. So sit back, enjoy, learn, take some notes, and look forward to catching up with you on the other side.
I want you to write this down. First, I'm going to give you 3 thoughts that I have. I'm going to talk to you tonight about culture. I'll explain why here in a minute. But I want to give you 3 thoughts that I'm saying to myself right now as we head into the season. 3 keys to a great season for any of us. 3 keys to a great season for any of us. Number 1, get your team in elite physical shape. Be in elite physical conditioning. I think I'm stating the obvious, saying, hey, you got to be in great shape to play this game at a high level. But the longer I coach, the more I believe in this. Everything that separates you as a player and as a team, I can point back to what kind of physical shape are we in, okay? Your physical shape dictates your habits. Your physical shape dictates how tough you are mentally and physically. Your physical shape can dictate your discipline, how disciplined you are. I am a firm believer, and I think you got to put your kids, I think this is a generation we're all going the other way. Less is more resistance. The players aren't leaning into doing the hard stuff like maybe they were 10, 15, 20 years ago. All right? We got to take the horse and take him to the water and make him drink. Okay? And that's what we've got to do as coaches. So I think getting your team in elite physical shape That gives you an edge off the bat, number one. Number two, create clarity for your team. Okay, and all that we do, we're changing our defensive system up this year, but I think creating clarity in all that you do, as you're installing your system this fall, as you're maybe putting in an offense, as you're going through your team rules, your procedures, how you do things, your system, so to speak, can you create clarity? Remember the connection here between clarity that we provide equals quality that our student athletes provide. So the more clarity that you have on the teaching end, the more quality you'll get out on the performance end. And I think that in an era here where we've got information overload, we can all fall victim to it. I've got one of our GAs going through my Twitter account right now and converting all the plays that I bookmarked over the last year. Okay, and I might spend the next year being able to watch them all because you see them on social media all the time. Man, I like that play. Oh, I like that way of doing things. Oh, that's a great set for us. Last second shot. Okay, I love that side out. That can be great for all of us, right? The information that's available, but can also create a cluttered mind. Okay, and I think that is so important, is the clarity that we provide as educators, as teachers, okay, and as implementers of our system. Okay, your messaging as you relay your message. Okay, your isms, right? Like we had my college coach, Steve Moore, College of Worcester, Hall of Fame head coach. All kinds of, we would impersonate him, we would joke about him, we would remember the sayings that he said. I still remember them to this day. Okay? A lot of those provide, for me, the foundation of what I believe as a basketball coach. So the messaging, the clarity of what you want as a coach, I think is so important. Okay, number three, third and last, trust your work. Trust your work. This, to me, this spews of confidence. Trust your work. Trust your system. Urban Meyer had one of the greatest phrases and philosophies on systems. He said there's a big difference between good and great in terms of leadership. Okay? Average leaders, they have quotes. Good leaders, they have plans. Great leaders, they have systems. And your system should be something that is very clear to you, but something very well thought out. We have a system for all that we do. What's our system for player development? Well, I can tell you. What's your system for academics? I can tell you. What's your system for holding guys accountable? I can tell you. We have systems for everything we do, and I think that phrase that Urban Meyer used, I thought really resonated with me, is that great leaders have systems. So trust your work. Okay, I'll give you one quick example here. So I've coached at 7 different schools. I'll give my brief background here in just a second, but I've coached at 7 different universities. I played Division III college basketball, but my experience at Butler University, for me, it changed me as a coach. The lessons it taught me, what I learned there, so many valuable lessons about the game, about team building, about being confident in what you have. Butler was the little engine that could, but they went to back-to-back national title games, 2010, 2011. They were a hair away from beating Duke, as we all know, in the championship game. I had one of their former players talk to our team, okay, talk to our team this summer, and I told him a little bit about Butler. I said, how many of you remember when Butler went to the Final Four? I think we had 2 kids on my team raise their hand. It's amazing. It's amazing how quickly they forget. Well, they were probably 9 years old back then too. But to me, that means so much to me, that team, that program. And I told them the story of how they built their program, what I learned when I was at Butler, the valuable lessons I learned. And I allowed the former player to get on there. It was on a Zoom and talk to our team. And I just remember the confidence that he spoke with. And, you know, he told one story at the very end that sort of made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. And he said, we were in the NCAA tournament. It was one of the early round games in one of their runs. And if you look back at their runs, they had some really tough games. I mean, they beat Old Dominion in one of those years on the opening game on a buzzer beater, you know, put back at the buzzer. But he said, we got down to the final 4 minutes. It's a 1-point game. We're in the timeout. He said, we're over there on the bench, and we got what we think is one of the best coaches in the country at drawing things up. So we're thinking, okay, what's Brad got here? What's he got? And he said, to our surprise, he came to the huddle, and he looked all of us in the eye, and he told us, look down there. And he made the whole huddle look down at their team, and he said, they're not built like us. And he said, the confidence that gave me in who we were and what we were all about, it made all the difference in the world. Well, the rest is history. But my point is, trust your work. Okay, your work's got to mean something. You got to earn that to say that as a coach and as a program. But let's all hope that in early November, or for high school, I guess early December, we get to our first game. And I pray that we're in a close game and we can look down there at the under 4 media timeout and tell my team, they're not built like us. And that should bring you as a coach so much confidence, but it's a great challenge for all of us as we prepare, right? Trust your work, trust your staff's work. We got to make it our job to trust our team's work, okay? I'm thankful to be here today. I do want to give a quick background here because I think it's pertinent to share with you on some of the things I'm talking about, okay? I grew up here in Columbus, Ohio. I played at Bexley High School 1 mile away from here. Played college ball at the College of Worcester. I chose Worcester because it was a winning program. I was a career role player and damn proud of it. 96 and 19 over a 4-year career, and I'm happy to say, had I not gone to Worcester, they would have been 96 and 19 over that same 4-year career. So my effect on the program was probably more in the locker room, in the practice. I was a role player at best, but I learned so many great lessons. One of my best friends, Lamont Paris, also played at the College of Worcester, now head coach at the University of South Carolina, highly successful. Okay, so I'm so thankful. Okay, I want to give you a little bit here. First, tonight I'm going to talk to you about culture, okay, and our program and what I've learned along the journey and maybe give you some thoughts. I think the best clinics I've ever been to in my life, I maybe took 3 or 4 nuggets but applied them. And I'm going to throw as much as I can. I'm going to work hard for you here in the next hour to throw as much at the wall for you as I can. Then hopefully you can take 3 or 4 things and apply them to your program. And these are things that I've maybe learned along the way. Started out as a grad assistant, Miami of Ohio for 2 years. Went to Kent State for 3 years. Was fortunate enough to coach a guy who is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame now, Antonio Gates. I was there for 3 years. Got hired back to Miami as a full-time coach, working for Charlie Coles, my original mentor and a guy that has impacted my life and did impact my life as much as anybody outside my father as a man, okay? He meant so much to me. I was there for 5 years, then I went to the University of Toledo. I was there for 3 years, the first 3 years of the Todd Kowalczyk era. Went to University of Illinois, where I worked for John Gross for 2 years. Then I went to Butler for 2 years with Chris Holtman, and he was fortunate enough to get the Ohio State job in 2017. And I was here, full circle moment, 5 years here as an assistant at Ohio State, which was obviously a dream opportunity for me personally. In 2022, had the opportunity to interview and ultimately take the Illinois State job, okay? A lot of people around here may not know as much about Illinois State. It's in the Missouri Valley Conference. Most of the schools in the Missouri Valley Conference are west of here. Illinois State's a very proud program. Great tradition, great history, but they've got the longest drought in the Missouri Valley Conference by far in terms of making it to the NCAA tournament. So why in the hell would you take a job that hadn't been to the tournament, the school hadn't been to the tournament since 1998. So 1998, I was a sophomore in college. Okay, they've had good teams. They've been in the tournament championship game multiple times, never won it. So they're hungry. Okay, here's what I did know. They've got a community that supports it. It's a beautiful campus. It's an awesome area. It's in the middle America. Great people, 170,000 people in Bloomington Normal community. And I asked myself one thing, can I build the type of program and attract the type of young men that I want to at Illinois State? The answer, in doing my research, was yes. So I ran to it. Hadn't been to the tournament since 1998. I ran to it. Every time we have a recruit or their families come in, and I sit at that table and I talk to them, I make it very clear. We haven't been to the tournament since 1998, and I need dudes that are going to run to that, not run from that with me. And what we've done in 3 years is build our program back up. It had fallen on some hard times, okay? But we've built our program up incrementally each year. Year 1, 11 wins. Year 2, 15 wins. And year 3, which was last year for us, 22 wins. And we won the CBI postseason tournament. So a lot of good stuff to build on. In this era, it's hard, especially at the mid-major level. It's very difficult to build a program. Okay, it's not hard to build a team, it's hard to build a program. And what I'm going to talk to you about here is what I think has helped contribute to us building the program that we have. I will never act like I have all the answers. I don't. Okay? I have a wonderful staff, an unbelievable staff. I've got guys in our locker room. Our culture is right where I want it. I wanted to build what Butler had built and how they built it. Tough, competitive, team-oriented, gritty, humble, guys that want to be coached. This is the DNA of who we're going to build our program with, and I will not bend. And if you said, hey, after 3 years, you've seen it all, man, I have. We've seen some really great moments. We've seen a lot of middle moments, and we've seen some moments that'll bring you to your knees. Some really difficult moments. What I'm most proud of is that we have built the program, the infrastructure, in the mold that we wanted to build the program in. And I'm very happy about that. One of my very best players, guy that I think will probably be our preseason player of the year in the league, Chase Walker, a St. Charles graduate, an Ohio product. When he came on a visit, he was 340 pounds. 340 pounds. So what did you see there? I saw a couple things. Number one, I saw a guy that had great hands. I saw a guy that had great feet, and he was unstoppable around the rim. Now the problem was he couldn't get down and back very quickly. All right? Guarding ball screens was tough. By the time he got to summer school, he was down to 322. So we made some progress, right? He did. He made progress before he ever got to campus. 322 pounds. In 1 year's time, he was down at 272 pounds as he started his sophomore season. And I'm so dang proud of him and the work that he's done. I do feel strongly he's done the work. So I've got the question many times, what's the key? What have you guys done with him? What have you? Hey, listen, we've provided the system. That I feel strong about. We've held him accountable. His coaches will tell you this, at a high level, on the floor, off the floor, in the weight room, and with his nutrition. But the kid has bought in. And what he has done in a 2-year span in 25 years, I've never seen anything like it. He wasn't on the radar this time last year. He was first team All-League as a sophomore. And he elected to stay. And he just had an article in Sports Illustrated about 4 weeks ago talking about Illinois State bucking the trend of mid-major players leaving. And we had 9 guys stay. So we're the trendy pick, right? We're the trendy pick. We've got 9 guys back. We've got 2 all-conference guys back. That's fine and good, but we better put our head down and get our butts to work because we are chasing something that hasn't been done at our school in 27 years. So I'm really excited about the challenge we got ahead of us, okay? I'm going to give you a couple foundational beliefs, okay? And I'm speaking today on culture. It's a big part. I'm going to share some basketball stuff with you here as quick as I can, but I want to share culture with you first, okay? Belief system, okay? My number one belief is culture wins. Culture wins. What's your definition of culture? We all heard culture, 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 culture. I don't care. You could say environment, okay? Whatever your definition is, make that true to what you believe. Here's mine. Our culture, it's what our program looks like, acts like, and feels like when nobody else is around, okay? What our program looks like, acts like, and feels like when no one else is around. My metaphor is that I'm trying with our program, first and foremost, we are a little different than high school because we can control who we bring in, who we recruit. We can control that, but my metaphor is we're trying to create fertile soil for our players to grow in. Right? And if they're growing as players but not people, probably not doing our jobs as well as we can. We want to develop our young men in 4 ways: as people, players, students, and athletes. All 4 equally important to me. I'm not just saying that. I'll give you our system for each of those, which I do on our recruiting visits. Talk is cheap. Anybody can tell you something. Here's what we do, Mom and Dad. Here's how we develop them, okay? So how you build your program, I think you got to start and you got to invest in the culture, okay? Last point on culture. We've heard this so much. Culture is what you emphasize, right? You become what you emphasize. I don't disagree with that at all. I would say it's more you become what you allow, is what I say. When you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds, and for a lot of you, maybe 15 to 18-year-olds, what you allow, I think, says a lot more about you as a coach, because that shows that you're willing to coach them in truth, put your foot down, and hold guys accountable, which isn't always popular. Who cares? Who cares? We're trying to build an elite culture. Okay, number two. In my office, I sit at my desk. I got a wall that's over past our conference table. I've got a big sign up here, and I got a big sign up here, and it's something I see every day when I'm talking to our kids, when I'm on the phone, and I want to see these 2 phrases, and these are the 2 things that guide our program. Number 1, you win with people. You win with people. And if you're not into elite people or helping kids improve their lives, their character, their habits, their discipline, you're probably not going to make the impact that you could. Okay, you win with people. That's the very foundation of our program. Number 2, all in. Okay, and I teach our guys, when you sign your name to something, you're John Hancock. Okay, they're young men, they don't know this. We got guys last spring signing leases, and then, oh shit, I want to live over here, and I want to get out of that lease. Can't do that, man. When you put your name on something, that means something. So I've got a big sign, all in, period. And I have every guy sign it. And I get it done professionally, so it's got a frame on it, big black, but the handwriting's in white, so it pops. And I make all of them sign it. Here's how I see coaching, okay? And this may be different than you, that's fine. And I got this from Jay Wright and the Villanova way of doing things, the methodology that he coached under. But here's what I will tell you. You're all in or you're against us, period. And as coaches, we all know when we see a front runner, shit's going good, everything's good, I'm a good teammate, I'm dapping guys up, I'm talkative, I'm coachable, I can listen, I'm a great leader. And then when stuff's going bad or it gets hard, that guy gets quiet. That's not all in, man. Well, you're only coachable when things are going well for you and not when things get tough. That's not all in. This transcends to all areas of our life. Could be in the weight room. I don't really like lifting. Are you all in or are you in or are you out? Are you with us? Black and white, yes and no, here or there, in or out, whatever analogy you may want to make. I'm firm about this. There's no gray area in coaching. And again, your systems can guide this. The importance of your system. So we got three things there. Culture. Culture wins. Number two, you win with people. Number three, the all-in mentality. The last two have to do with the results, right? You got to decide as a coach, are you a results-driven guy? Are you going to live and die with just the results? So are you obsessed with just the W's? And then what happens on the L's? You just become a total ass? You don't teach? Okay? We're not like that. No one in here is like that. But are you committed to your process? So the notion that you will get what you earn. You will get what you earn. The big E word, entitlement. It's more prevalent now than it was 10 or 20 years ago. You know it and I know it. And entitlement, in my opinion, is the number one poison that can ruin your team, it can ruin your locker room, it can ruin your season. So you got to eliminate entitlement. Entitlement fuels arrogance to me. Okay? The opposite would be humility. Humility fuels hunger. Entitlement fuels arrogance, and arrogance will get you beat. It'll kill your culture, it'll kill your locker room. So getting your players to appreciate and understand that you will get what you earn. I think the worst word, I hate this word, I never use this word, ever, even with my wife, deserve. I don't like that word. As a coach, I don't like that word. I don't think you deserve anything. I think we will get what we earn. Okay, and that allows you to coach and start from a very humble standpoint with your team and with your players. Keep them hungry. I got a team that everybody's going to be kissing their ass. You're going to be first or second or third in the league. Man, listen here. We're trying to do things here at Illinois State that have never been done before. Put your head down and get to work. The second that you think you're entitled to anything, we'll have nothing. So entitlement as poison, get it out of your system. The last is this. Strong belief that if you follow your process, whatever that is, yours might be different than his, and his might be different than hers, and yours might be different than ours. What's your process? Okay, we're trying to win the day. We're trying to control the controllables, do what we can. But I have strong conviction in this point right here. The score will take care of itself. You can say the results will take care of themselves. Fine, okay? My favorite book, it's in my bag. I take it everywhere I go. I go back to it. It's like my personal Bible for me as a coach. It's by Bill Walsh, the San Francisco 49ers coach, and it's called The Score Takes Care of Itself. So what I didn't know, when I was growing up in the 80s, it was the Cowboys and the Niners, right? Those are the two teams. Maybe the Dolphins a little, maybe the Steelers some, but it was the Cowboys and it was the Niners. So they were the model of consistency to me growing up. They were the gold standard to me. What I didn't know until I read this book was they were like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were in the 80s. The Niners were like that in the 70s. Terrible. And when Bill Walsh took this program over, okay, and he took that program over, it did not happen right away, but this whole book talks about the culture and how they built it. Did you know Bill Walsh, in his first 2 years, started out 5-22. They were 6-10. They rallied to get to 6-10 his second year, but they were 5-22 at one point. And he talks about, in one of his chapters, heading home from a game at Miami that they just pissed away at the very end, and he broke down and cried. And he said, you never want to show your emotions, you know, as a man and as a coach, but on the airplane, I sat there and I cried, and I thought it was never, I considered resigning. He said, little did I know that was going to be the low point. They turned around the next weekend and beat the New York Giants 12-0. And the rest is history. They took off from there, okay? So you never know when your program's going to take off. Sometimes it happens when you least expect it. But my point is, last, but certainly not least, the trust and the belief and the faith that the score will take care of itself if you're true to your process. All right? Okay. I'll share one quote with you before we get on here to the next thing. Okay? One quote. I have this above my desk. I love it. I love it. Whatever you want to call culture, environment, you want to call it your ecosystem, whatever that might be. But environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. Don't ever forget that. Okay? Especially in our world. We have 12 to 15 on a team. I can't relate to football, and I study the hell out of football coaches because I think they're really impressive. Really impressive. They manage and connect 85 guys, right? But you're talking about creating an environment, creating a culture. Just remember, the environment that your kids are growing in, environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior, okay? I'll give you a couple quick points. We'll get on to some basketball here, okay? Creating buy-in. How do you create the buy-in within your program? Here's a couple quick hitters for you, okay? How do you create the buy-in? It's one thing to say it, hey, these are our standards, guys. This is what we do. This is how we do it. But how do you create that buy-in? Number one, you got to get the right people on your team. You control that to an extent. I would challenge some of you when you get down to that last 2 or 3 that you're deciding, do I cut him or not? I would take the guys that you think are going to be the best teammates. Because the reality is your 10, 11, 12 probably ain't going to help you win many games. So who's going to be the best teammate at that point? Okay, so number one, get the right people on board and build strong relationships. I think we all know that, the importance of relationship building. I heard a coach here recently, he said every week he has a 10-minute meeting scheduled with every one of his players, all the way through the walk-ons, okay? Bob Galone here, I don't think Bob's here tonight, but he shared with me, he's been doing this as well, okay? And I think he's meeting with them every 10 to 14 days, but just a 10-minute meeting. You'd be surprised what that can do. So how do you create that buy-in? First, get the right people, but then when you got those people, build great relationships with them so you can look them eyeball to eyeball and communicate in truth. Okay? Number two, set the standards. Again, clarity. Let's go back to clarity. How clear are your standards? Our standards are very simple. We have standard of excellence. Be where you're supposed to be, do what you're supposed to do, and give your best. For the name on the front of your jersey. That's it. That can't be misconstrued, can't be miscalculated, didn't hear you right, I didn't understand, bullshit. Do what you're supposed to do, be where you're supposed to be, and give your best for Illinois State, period. Okay? But uphold those standards, have great clarity as you set them. Number three, continue to reinforce why. Why, right? One of the things I hate about this generation is we've all heard this. Hey, you got to constantly tell them why. Tell them this. Tell them why. Tell them why. Don't say it and present it to them in a way that's going to appease them. That's bull. Don't do that. Tell them why after a win. Tell them why after a kid finally gets it and hustles his ass off. And then his teammates run and pick him off the floor like you've been preaching. Tell them why then. That's why. Because it's contagious, right? The good habits in your program and the bad habits in your program are both contagious. Which are you going to reinforce? Number 4, never underestimate the importance of messaging. What's up, man? Messaging, okay? This messaging can come in all forms and fashions. It could be messaging that you see on the walls. Urban Meyer was huge on that. If you go into their facility, they got it all over the place. All over the place. We put our core values on the wall. We put our basketball or court values on the wall. I want our guys to see that you win with people right when they walk in the locker room. They go in their locker room area above the TV, compete. Comes from my college coach, compete. So getting them to constantly see and hear your messaging. Maybe it comes in the form of a quote. Maybe it comes in the form of a Twitter post that you see that you forward to your team. But constantly reinforce your values and don't ever underestimate the importance of the messaging. Last is this. Whatever it is that you're trying to create, the buy-in that you're trying to build, the belief system that you're trying to nurture as a coach, okay? You got to demand that daily. Okay? Culture is very fragile. We all know this. But whatever you're trying to build, whatever you're trying to create, you've got to demand that daily. Okay? All right. I'm going to get to basketball. I got one last point. I think this is really, really important. And it might come across as corny to kids sometimes. But we are constantly emphasizing connections on the basketball court. Connections. Let me remind you, Steve Nash in 2006 won the NBA MVP. He led the league in 2 statistical categories. Number 1, he led the league in assists. Number 2, he led the league in teammate touches. Say, teammate touches, how the hell do they know that? Cal Berkeley performed a study on every team in the NBA. It took them 8 months. And they counted every single interaction amongst a pool of games. Steve Nash averaged touches now, whether that was a high five, a fist bump, a pat on the butt, touching the guy on his back, 239 per game himself. And I think that's something as a program we've been pretty good at, but I'm not willing to just assume that. So this weekend, from our 3 practices last week, I've got our support staff charting for the guys that were hurt, the guys that were in, the guys that were not in. We've got 4 categories: verbal connections, nonverbal connections, physical touch, and bad body language. And we're going to count them up and see where we're at. And I'm really curious to see this when I get back in the office tomorrow, because it's going to fuel some of the emphasis that we have next week as we're getting closer and closer to the season. We're 2 weeks away from starting our practice. So don't ever underestimate the importance of connections and what that may look like to you.
I hope you enjoyed that. I think if you really see the value in that for your team, and I think that's the most important part. If you want to hear Ryan's entire clinic and that of every other speaker that we had at OHSBCA, which included some incredible talks from Kevin Boyle, the new coach of Aspire Academy national champion at Mount Verde, Brad Burnell from Clemson, A.W. Hamilton, incredible, moving, emotional talk, the head coach of Eastern Kentucky, so many others, and as well as almost 600 clinics from all across the nation. Go to coachinguplus.com. So until next week, this is the coach, Brendan Sir.